Hey guys, and welcome to the next lesson. As you can see, we've established those parameters of making those characters a little flatter. We've eliminated those areas of the previous image we had as a base. And what we're going to do now is establish most of the text so that you can see the combinations that I want to do. I've chosen as a main typography the trash hand font, as I think it goes quite well with the aesthetic that I want to do. I want to give it an almost hand-drawn look. I can modify this at the end, but at the end of the day, well, it's just the one that calls out the most to me. The second typography I'm going to use is the quicksand one. It's a typography that goes, it's just simple and that fits with the one before. And as it doesn't have, as it's a similar type to sans serif, it goes quite well with the one before. That's more like hand drawn. So yeah, whatever you're going to add in as a subheading depends on you. I don't have it entirely sure yet, so I might change it at the end. I'm quite indecisive. We're going to continue adding in small details, and we're going to go on adding in things little by little. You remember that before I did a series of drawings in the background? I'm going to make some meteorites to decorate this a little bit so the background isn't too boring. I'm going to add in a small gradient so that trail here I just made is it's a little bit more natural. Once I have it grouped, I'm going to spread out different similar objects around the scene. Just, changing the size, the position, the angle. I have to keep in mind the texts. The more aligned they are, and the better they fit. They'll just be better for our infographic. I recommend that you align them to the artboard. In my case, as it's a composition that's quite central, I don't have much of a problem. I just have to align it to the center and I'm good. Here I'm going to put in this second text. I wanted to say Environment Warriors. Environment Warriors! And also, I have to align this to the heads we have below so that it doesn't look disproportionate. Underneath, I'm going to put in the names of each of them. Now I'm going to be able to see if I want to change the typography to make it stand out and vary a little bit, but I think that I'm not super into using right now trash hand. Or this color. I'll tell you that with this, it's just pure indecision. Pure indecision. You can do anything in the beginning, but as you advance with your illustration, you're going to be seeing that there are things that they just don't fit well. So if we change it and try it out throughout the design, we're going to get like a better idea of what we want. I'm just not super into this one. Because you remember how I said that trash hand is the main typography because I used it as my heading and it would be more coherent if the rest of the headings were trash hand, but it's in other environments. Okay, so here you have the scene a little more advanced. As you can see, I've added in some more details in the background, like little circles and stars to finish it. And well, I'll put in here. Well, this wouldn't need to fit because I want to talk about the not the biographies. You know what I mean? Like maybe a little bit about each of these people, or what they did. All right, I'm gonna leave it like this for now because I want it to fit. It's basically just a question of the more we take in doing this more time we take this, the more we advance in another illustration, we're going to see that we're going to go along fitting the puzzle pieces. It's just not really ready. But we'll go along adapting what we put in the future to what's established so that the aesthetic fits and goes well. All right, so here we're going to include what I said before, that mini bio of each of the characters here on the right. We have to adapt them a little bit so that we can see them. And remember that as it's in A3, the point that the typography has to have, it can't be too big because later when we print, it's going to look exaggeratingly big. This doesn't affect us too much because, as I said in the beginning, basically with our infographic, I have everything ready in RGB and stuff to adapt it to the net, to internet, not for printing. But just in case, it's good to go along adapting it little by little. I'm going to put this kind of bracket to emphasize what's in the center even more. And so the Earth picks up a lot of the attention when we're seeing the image. I have to adapt it to the text so that it looks well aligned and doesn't come too far out above or below. I don't think it's going to be good if the images overlap over the text because it would untidy the image a little bit. Well, as I said, I'm using now the swatches. I'm using them a little randomly because now I want to establish and distribute everything we have in an informative setting. And then, as I'm putting it in, I can adjust it how I want it. All right, maybe if I play a little bit with nature. And just go along fitting everything in a little bit more regarding the palette. I think I'm going to add in some flowers right here. Just to play a little bit with that nature theme I mentioned before. I'm going to make it so these brackets have that little detail of, of having like some little flowers. So that way you can fit everything in the aesthetic you're working with. I like symmetry, so I'm going to use it in the other one. I'm going to use the orange from the color palette. I've used it as well for the heart too, and for the top part where the heading is. It's the sun. Just in case you couldn't see that, I want you guys to know that it is the sun. I wanted to add in a reference to the sun using our orange from the color palette. All right, so here I'm going to try and put in a flower. They're a bit too close. Okay, better. Repeat that again. I'm going to unify it. Well, first I'm going to expand it. Now we have it. And I'm going to round off each of the ends to make them more petal looking. Like this. See? You can make a pretty simple thing there. And, it's kind of a question of the imagination you want to put into this. The environmental theme is pretty wide. It's pretty full of stuff. And for example, if you go more towards like an animal theme, you can play with some patterns maybe. Or something like that, like paw prints. I like this detail. I'm going to copy it onto the other side. I'm going to do it. There. And I'm going to fit it just so it looks similar. Okay. Well, there we would have it, more or less, the inside bit. Perfect. Let's go on in the next videos with the last details we have left. And, well, as you can see, it's kind of a balance between the two typographies, the main one and the secondary one. Make sure you're aligning correctly and look carefully at the previous composition you made. And just, go along making sure everything is correctly aligned. And, well, that's all for now. And I'll see you guys in the next lesson to give a next push to the infographic. See you guys later. Bye.